Don't mind the suit and the tie. I'm at a wedding in France in a chateau. I think it's like 14th or 15th century, but let's get back into the video. Why is it that some coaches can consistently close high ticket clients, but other ones barely struggle to get by? It's not because they have better marketing or a bigger audience or have some secret sales script that actually allows them to do that. The truth is that most coaches stay stuck because they completely miss these three aspects to a sales call. They spend all their time focusing on being a better coach and hope that will grow their business. But the truth is that they forget that even though you're a coach, you're still running a business, and a business lives or dies on sales. So listen, back in 2020, when I started my life coaching business, I struggled with sales too, because I didn't want to seem salesy and I wanted to focus on the coaching. But it wasn't until I was like, you know what? I really need to dive in deep into sales so I can really crush it and build my business, because again, it is a business at the end of the day. And I know it's hard to hear, but just because you're a great coach doesn't mean that you'll actually be able to grow and scale a profitable coaching business on that alone. Because sales is just a bridge between the value that you offer to then the value that your client needs. Think of sales as dating. You don't want to just immediately jump in and ask them to marry you, because of course that's never going to go over very well. You have to build trust and create curiosity. You have to understand someone. You have to listen just as much as you speak. And you honestly need to understand how to guide the interaction. Closing a client is no different. And as you walk through this process I'm going to show you, it becomes a lot easier and you'll feel a lot more authentic in the process as well. The reality is that there's three key components to every single sales call that you need to master. And if you do this, you're going to increase your closing rate, and therefore you're going to, over time, need to increase your price, because it's classic supply and demand, which is what you want for your coaching business. So stick with me all the way until the end, because what I'm going to reveal is going to change the game for you if you're consistently taking sales calls as a coach. All right, step one, I want you to understand how you should properly structure your call, because this isn't just a conversation, this isn't just a free session, this is a structured approach to actually be able to close a deal and make a decision. That is the only reason why you're on the call. So this structure that I'm about to walk through will help you guide them through a process, take them through a journey, get them ready to make a decision. So then that way you take one call and boom, you close one high ticket client. So the first 90 seconds, I always say you're going to want to build rapport. This is just chit chatting, understanding each other, getting to know each other a little bit more. Then you can jump into the pre-frame. The second step is the pre-frame. Sounds something like this. So the whole point of today's call is really just to get deeper with what's going on and how I might be able to help you. And if I feel like I can, I'll build you a whole custom game plan. I'll show you what that'll look like for us to get started together. And if it makes sense and if we're in alignment, then great, we can get you started as early as today. Does that work for you? So that pre-frame will save you so much time, because right in the beginning, they know that they have to make a decision at the end of the call. And 99% of the time, people will say, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then you move on. For the 1% who are like, oh, I didn't expect to make a decision today, yada, 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 whatever it is, don't worry. You can handle it right there and then just reorient the conversation. So only 2 minutes on that. Then you jump into discovery, about 10 to 20 minutes. The point of this is to really understand their pain points, what their goals are and what they've tried, and how it aligns to your three sales pillars. I can always explain that in another video, but you want to ask really good questions, and then step 2 is actually in this phase. Next is current situation. This is about 5 to 10 minutes, and you really just want to understand if they have the time and they have the means to invest. You want to just ask them some basic questions like, hey, my program usually requires about 1 to 2 hours a week of work. Do you feel like you have that capacity right now? Or is this something that you're looking to get started with immediately? And as far as means to invest go, you can ask them something along the lines of, look, my services aren't free. I have a lot of different ranges of offerings, but at the end of the day, do you feel like you have a means to invest in yourself and your coaching right now? And if they answer the time or the finance questions in a bad way, then keep digging, like get to an understanding there, because you're going to deal with that obstacle later as an objection. So then have a normal conversation like a human being and get to know them. Understand if maybe now's not the right time. Maybe they don't have a means to invest, but test them on it, because they're on the call for a reason. And honestly, it's to get a big change in their life. Then the pre-pitch. This is just a quick 2 minutes, reorients everything. Just say, hey, totally makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing everything. I've got a really good game plan here. Before we jump into it though, is there anything you feel like you haven't told me yet that might help me help you better? It's one of my favorite lines to say, because it gets me time to kind of orient myself for the pitch, align all my pillars, but it also asks them a really good question. They're like, hey, maybe I haven't actually told Eric this one thing that'll really help me help him. Now the pitch, 15 minutes max. You don't want to be talking a whole bunch. I can do a whole video on just the pitch, but during this time, you're going to walk them through your 3 sales pillars and really explain how the pillar itself transforms their pain points into their dream outcomes, right? So, hey, you're struggling with anxiety. I help you with recalibrating your mindset so that way you can be more confident when you're at work. Boom, that's pillar one. So the next phase is called the next steps section. Super critical. So all the next steps is that you say, hey, we're gonna talk about the investment, we're gonna collect the investment, I'll get you booked in for your onboarding call, and then I'll send you a service agreement so that way you can sign it between now and our onboarding call. And then you drop the price. But I like to say it like this, where you explain the result and then you drop the price. As an example, so Chris, to help you decrease the intensity and frequency of your anxiety at work to hopefully help you get a promotion, it's only $3,200. Boom, just like that. Step two is what I call doubling down, because you want to do this in the discovery to really uncover what it is that's holding them back so you can use that to help them make a decision after you drop the price about your program. So doubling down has three simple aspects to it. You're going to simply ask them for more information about something that's causing them pain. You're going to then ask them how long they've been dealing with that for, and you're going to figure out what the impact is to them by having that pain consistently in their life. So you're going to ask questions like this. So okay, so you're dealing with some anxiety, I understand that, but can you tell me more specifically what that's like to have anxiety? Oh, okay, so you have some panic attacks here and there. Well, where does it manifest? Like, when does that happen? You see how I'm asking very specific questions to get more detail? That's step one. Step two is you're going to ask them for how long they've been experiencing this. So for example, they say, oh, well, honestly, I've had anxiety, past couple of years, really only started when I started that new finance job about 3 years ago, but it ebbs and flows. But how much has that been impacting you? Like, how specifically has that been impacting you negatively at work? So that's step three, which is tying the impact to the duration, which was step two, and then back to the specific pain point. Understanding all of this to not only understand it for myself, but to help them see the cascade effect of, look, my anxiety has caused me a lot of pain for 3 years, and that's what's really been impacting me at work. And they would say something like this. Oh, I've really been nervous. I haven't been talking much in meetings, and people just don't see me and my value. And that's probably what's been keeping me from getting a promotion. Bingo. Now I see the whole connection here. So yes, anxiety is the issue, but it's been an issue for 3 years, and it's been preventing them from getting a promotion. Now I can tie that back to how I can help them with their anxiety and how that's going to actually get them a bigger financial ROI by getting a promotion at work. And to move on from that, you just say, hey, I appreciate you so much going super deep like that. It really helps me help you. So at the end of the day, we'll table that, but really I'm going to hone in on that on step and then insert the pillar that you're going to talk about on how to actually help them overcome that. And really just, again, appreciate and thank them for the honesty that they gave you. All right, now the third critical aspect of every sales call is actually handling an objection. So step one is I want you to take a step back and just focus on the process. Focus on what you just pitched them, okay? And you're also gonna throw a financial qualifier in there because I actually wanna deal with financial objections last because they're the easiest to overcome. But I wanna handle anything else before that. Could be it's not the right time, they're not ready for change, they gotta talk to their spouse, whatever it is. And you say something like this. No problem at all, I can totally book you in for a call tomorrow just to sync up and see if you're ready to make a decision at that point. But just curious, like finances aside, is this something that you still wanna do? How do you feel about the process? And then boom, then they go into it and they're like, oh yeah, no, I love the process, but, and then that's the true objection. Might be, but I need to talk to my spouse, but now's not the right time, but I don't have the money, right? And so you're going to isolate the objection by asking that question. So if they object, then handle it, right? Time, spouse, money, great, jump into that. That's the real problem. It's not that they need to think about it, it's that thing, right? But if they say, no, yeah, I totally want to do this, there's nothing really holding me back, I just want to sleep on it, then do this. So now you're going to ask for permission to ask some pretty intense questions because the whole point of being a coach is for you to serve them, for you to be a leader, for you to guide them, all right? And if you're going to just let them keep pushing things away and making excuses, even if they want the change, then it's just going to keep them stuck. So focus in on your energy. I'm coming from a place of love and service and guidance, and say it like this. No worries at all. Like, totally makes sense. We can talk tomorrow or whenever it is. But can I just be honest with you? Is that okay? Because you've been so honest with me. And they're gonna be like, yeah, of course you can. So look, I take these calls all day, and I hate to tell you this, but the statistics are 9 times out of 10, when people wanna jump onto another call or sleep on it and make a decision later, the truth is that they usually never do. And if they do, they're really not committed in the first place. And so I'm not saying that you can't be an outlier, but I at least wanna share with you the statistics of what I've experienced as a coach. So with all that that being said, I'm just trying to guide you towards the identity that it sounds like you want and that you need to actually get the lifestyle that you want as well. Does that make sense? And then they're like, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And you say, great. So are you ready to make a decision right now to step forward into that new identity so we can actually have your onboarding call tomorrow versus just pushing off the decision and actually maybe not getting you the best results? If they say yes, boom, collect the cash, book them in for their onboarding call. If they still say no, yeah, I need to still sleep on it, it totally makes sense, I'm gonna be an outlier, whatever it is, say, okay, great, no worries, don't wanna push you at all, that's your decision, and then book them in for the follow-up. And if they don't show up, keep following up with them and eventually let go of them because they're just not ready, right? Either using it as a smokescreen, but they're not ready to make the decision, or they're just not comfortable with it, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you know that you walked them through that whole process. And honestly, I've closed way more deals by just saying that than anything else. So look, if you're a coach and you're trying to scale, there's absolutely no shortcut when it comes to understanding and learning sales. You have to master the whole process, especially these 3 key moments, because those are the ones that make or break a sale. And they make or break a sale because they make or break a decision. And again, that's the whole point of why you're on the call in the first place. And if you get good at this, you can consistently show up for your prospects, turn them into clients, get them amazing results, and actually build a business that is profitable and giving you the freedom that you want while making the world a better place. So if you're a coach who's never closed a deal before, or if you're at 10, even 20K months, trying to grow to 50K months, just like how I did, then click the link below and book a call with me, because I'll actually be able to understand way deeper what's going on with your business, where the constraints are, and how to actually help you grow so you can do what you do best, which is coach people and get paid for it. So if you found this video helpful, just drop a like, hit that subscribe button because I'm dropping new videos every single week. I also post every single day on my Instagram, so go ahead and give me a follow on that. And if you're a coach really looking to scale, I just wish you the best, and I'll see you in the next video.